So the flies that I have, I think they're called like Heidi flies, like Drosophila Heidi or something. They need to be kept below 80 in order to get them not to start flying. You know, and I use them for fish food, so they make a great fish food. I'll link in the description or somewhere a video on how I do my flies, but they need to stay below 80 or they'll start to fly, and above like 60 or so, or they'll start to die. So what I did is I got a mini fridge here. I got it from my neighbor for free. They were moving and didn't want to take it, so they gave it to me. So that's good. And I put my flies in it. But if you mini fridges, they'll get to like 40 degrees and that'll kill all the flies, so you don't want that. So what I did is I set it up with an Inkbird temperature controller. This is the that model, and it has like the heating and cooling. I couldn't find an Inkbird with just the cooling, so I bought this one. And like in the wintertime where I wouldn't need this because the house is kept cooler, I could use it for one of my fish tanks or something. So I got that one. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, so you want it to, and how I do that is, let me get, this thing's falling. Stay. Okay, so first things first, let's pick this thing up. Alright, so I have the little probe just on the inside of the fridge. I go through the like the weather stripping stuff. It doesn't really seem to affect it much. I mean, there's a little gap there, but it'll be fine. It's better than having to drill a hole in your fridge. I don't really want to do that, so I just went in through the weather stripping. I'm sure it's not perfect, but it's fine. And yeah, so you have it go through. You plug your fridge into the cooling port. You plug this thing into the wall or power strip. And how you set this thing is you hold down set till it does that. And that's a T, by the way. In your instruction manual, it will say like TS and it'll be capital. That took me a while to figure out. That took me a while to figure out. So this is your target temperature. So you want this to be your low end. I set it to 78 because these things are supposed to be kept between 65 and below 80. And I found if I set it to 65, it would end up being a little bit colder than that because it takes a little bit of time for the thermometer gauge in the Inkbird to catch up to the temperature in the fridge. And another thing I found is set your fridge to the lowest cooling power, because I found it takes longer for it to cool the fridge down, so it gives the Inkbird more time to adjust. Because I had it at the highest first because I watched the video and that's what he told me to do, and that did not work at all. By the time it thought it was 65, it was like 55 in there, so that's not going to work. But whenever I set it to 1, which is the would be like the most hot or whatever on this fridge, it was like pretty close to actually 65 in there. So anyways, moving on, you hold this down And for the flies, I think 68 is a good temperature because it will be a little bit lower. And then to move on to your next, this is your heating differential. That doesn't matter since we're using it for cooling, so we can just skip that. And this is, shoot, I'm not going fast enough. Target heating doesn't matter. Cold, right? So this is how much it'll, when it'll kick on. So if we have it set to 68 like we do, and we want it to get no hotter than 75, we would have to have it at, what would it be, 7? So now it'll go off at 65 or 75. It'll turn on the cooling. And if you don't hold this down, it won't remember your settings. So and this is alarm high. It'll like start beeping apparently if it gets to whatever number you set it to. This is your alarm cold. It'll start beeping if it gets to what you set it to. This is compressor delay. I set this to the maximum. It's not good to have your compressors, kicking off and then kicking right back on. It can mess them up apparently. So I set it to 10 minutes because that's as much as it would let me, and I'm sure that'll be fine. I'm sure it can hold temperature for at least 10 minutes. So, I accidentally set the thing. So to set your new temperature, I guess, you have to hold it down. You can't just let it time out or whatever. So that's okay though. We'll just go back. This is alarm low, compressor delay. I don't know why it's PT. I think it should be CD, but maybe they can't make those letters. They can definitely make C, so I don't know why they did that. And they can make D. Oh, because that's a cooling differential. I guess that makes sense. Okay, I see why they did that now. This is what the heck? This thing does not give you much time, I will tell you that. Okay, and this is to calibrate it. I found it to be close enough, so. And this is to set it to Celsius or Fahrenheit. So I want it in Fahrenheit, so now that I have all my settings set, I'm going to hold it down till it goes away, basically. And then it'll set all my settings. So this is the temperature that's in it, like it is right now. And this is the temperature that you told it wanted to be at. For some reason it thinks I want it to be at 77, and that's why it's heating. But I don't want it to be that. I want it to be at 68. I don't know how I did that. Let's go around, make sure all the other settings. What the heck happened here? It reset everything. Whatever, so I'll show you all this from the start now, I guess. This is the start. I want it to be at 68. Gonna press heating differential, don't care. Want this to be at 7 degrees because I want it to be a maximum of 75 in there. This is alarm high. I want an alarm to go off at 79 because if it reaches 80, them suckers start to fly. And the flies don't fly, but if they pupate or pupating or whatever, whenever it's 80, apparently they can fly. So, and they do. So this is alarm low. Want to set this to 63. I'm not sure what I did to get it to reset. I must have done something. This is compressor delay, 10 minutes. The changing what the temperature is, I guess. And we want it in Fahrenheit. So now we're going to hold this down. And there we go. Whenever it's cooling, that light will come on, and whenever it's trying to heat, that light will come on. So, you know what you should do? Since I don't have anything plugged into the heating thing, I'm not sure I want it to be live. So, I'm going to set this to the maximum here. So now it can be 30 degrees out of whack, and it'll be fine. That way, you know, the heating won't come on, and this plug won't be live in case, I don't know, somebody sticks a nail in it or something. So yeah, that's how I do it. And there you go. You could also do this for like beer or something, but I mean, I guess it would be cheaper because you can find like a used mini fridge or like soda or whatever. You know, you can find a used mini fridge a lot of times for like $40, and this thing's like 35, so you'd be in it to like $70 or so. And a lot of them beverage fridge holders are like 150-ish. So, I mean, you could use it for that too, but I think I would probably just buy a machine made for it. You know what I mean? The reason I'm not using a beverage thing is most of them don't let you set it to like 70 degrees. Most of the time they're at like 50 to like 60 kind of max. Maybe 65. But yeah, I figured I'd show y'all how to do this because those flies flying away have been a big problem in my house during the summer because it gets real hot where I live and air conditioning is expensive. So there you go. Obviously use air conditioning or I would like die, but you know, I have it set to like 78 or so, which is great for the fish during the summers, but you know, whenever it's set to 78, you know, sometimes under your cabinets with having the lights on and everything, it can get to like 80. So, or you know, if you have it next to a window or something like that. So some parts can reach 80, and well, if they do, your flies fly and it makes it hard to deal with. So, mini fridge.